Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Toby's Talk Show. This is episode number 51, and today we are back with another review of a trade in free agency. So, as you guys know, yesterday I posted two videos for you guys, and those were just quick videos talking about the Chris Paul trade and the James Harden rumors. And today, obviously last night, around 12:30 in the morning, we got two breaking news trades, and then at 1 in the morning, we got a sign-in trade. So there's a lot to unpack today. I'll be going through the Jrue Holiday trade, the Robert Covington trade, and lastly, I will be going through the Bogdanovic Bohan from the Kings, the sign-in trade that occurred last night. So yeah, it's going to be another raw, not that many edits to this video, just talking about my thoughts on these three trades. You guys seem to really enjoy these past two videos, a lot more engagement, so I'm excited to keep posting these shorter videos for you guys throughout the next week or two, depending on what happens. And of course, I'll do my draft review, etc., etc. So let's start off with the first trade that happened last night, and that was the Robert Covington trade. So the Rockets traded Robert Covington to the Blazers for 2 first-round picks and Trevor Ariza. One of them is the 16th pick this year, and one of them is a protected first. So for the Blazers side of things, I understand it. It's basically like, I think the Rockets gave up 2 first to the Timberwolves when they first made that deal. So it's basically like the Blazers waited half the summer and then gave the same package that the Rockets did 6 months later. For the Blazers, I think Robert Covington is a perfect player for them. They need another forward. They have the 2 guards, and now they have a forward that's an above-average player who could do everything for them. Defense, they could spread the floor, and even, obviously the Blazers aren't known for their small ball, but if they ever have to or ever want to, they can plug Robert at the 5. Covington's great. He helped the Rockets a lot last year. He was kind of a guy like a Draymond Green, where he was just putting all these different stats up. Like, he wasn't putting up 30 a game, but you'll see sometimes where he has 28, 5, 3, and 3, and you're like, dang, that's a great game. So Covington's a great player for the Blazers. The Blazers are obviously in win now mode. They want to win with the superstar that they drafted. They don't want to ruin his prime. So they're giving it all they got by trading for Robert Covington, obviously 2 firsts. This year the draft isn't even that good. So at 16, let's say you draft, for example, Tyrese Maxey, who's projected to go around there. He's not going to help you win now. Robert Covington, at this point, Tyrese Maxey could be a superstar in the future, but right now, I would take Robert Covington any day over Tyrese Maxey, and I completely understand why the Blazers did that. And for the Rockets' sake, all it tells me is that it seems like they're trying to tank. If they're trying to win now, why would they trade their third best player? I'm not sure. Maybe they think that the 16th pick could get more value on the floor than what Robert Covington could do for them. Maybe it's about money. I'm not very sure. But for my guess, it seems like Russell's going to go out the door. And obviously there have been rumors that the Rockets want Kyrie or KD in return for James Harden. But it seems like the Rockets may let James go to a different team as well. So that was my review for the Robert Covington trade. So the next trade that happened, I'm going to leave the Jrue Holiday one for last, even though the Bohan Bogdanovic one happened after the Jrue Holiday one. Let's talk about the Bohan Bogdanovic one quickly. I don't know why I keep saying Bohan. I think it's Bogdan. I think Bohan's on the Jazz. Actually, I know Bohan's on the Jazz. This is Bogdan Bogdanovic. And, I like Bogdan. He's a great, great shooter. He could really spread the floor for these Bucks. And the Bucks, all they need to put around Giannis, we've been saying this the whole time, is a shooter. And especially with the acquisition of Jrue Holiday, which we'll get into, they now have that better defensive point guard that could really spread the floor and also is a great facilitator. But for Bogdan, Wesley Matthews started for the Bucks last year, so Bogdan is 20 times better than Wesley Matthews. Huge upgrade. Obviously, they had to give up DiVincenzo and DJ Wilson and another player, I think, for Bogdan. But, you have to realize that the Bucks are going all in. And I guess they could just mix both of the Bucks trades. By trading their 5 first for Jrue Holiday, which they did, and obviously that was a lot, you're also including the fact that Giannis stays. If Giannis doesn't stay, this is probably the worst 2 trades in NBA history, maybe behind the Nets trade, because that was really, really bad. But I believe the Bucks know that Giannis is going to resign, and now they're showing him that they care the same amount that he does for both their success. Jrue Holiday, so the Bucks traded Jrue Holiday, or the Bucks definitely did not trade Jrue Holiday. They received Jrue Holiday for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and 3 firsts and 2 pick swaps. So basically, Eric Bledsoe, underperformer in the playoffs. Jrue Holiday is 20 times better than him in every single category as a point guard. And then George Hill, even though he's a great shooter, was a great backup point guard last year. You could get another one of those in free agency. That's not that big of a deal. So now you have a starting lineup for the Bucks of Jrue Holiday, Bogdan, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez, and that's a scary starting five. Obviously, with the Nets, if they get James Harden, I think obviously their starting five would probably look a lot better. But that's a very well-rounded starting five, and I think it's the Bucks' best starting five I've seen since Giannis has been in his prime, or since Giannis has been an MVP caliber player trying to win that chip. I think the Bucks are all in. And obviously, that's why they traded the 5 picks. If they weren't all in, they wouldn't have done that. I mean, that's their whole future. If Giannis leaves, like I said, they're absolutely screwed. There's really nowhere to go. I don't understand if the Bucks did this without 100% assurance that Giannis was staying, because that's really risky, and especially because Jrue Holiday is only on a 1-year deal. So Jrue Holiday could walk after this year and say, you know what, peace out. Like I never signed here. I got traded here. I don't really want to be here, and he could leave. And then if the only thing the Bucks really have to do this year is win the championship. That's their one goal. Like I said in the last video with Chris Paul and all them, your one goal as a team is to win the championship. So if they win the championship this year, all this trade, all the picks and whatever, that's out the window. Who cares? They won the championship. Looking at the Lakers from last year, are the Lakers fans upset that they traded Brandon Ingram? Maybe, but do they really care? No, they won the championship. They're very happy. They're very pleased. They have nothing to worry about. So the Bucks' one goal next year is win the championship. Sure, finals would be nice, but I think you have to skip that final step and say, yo, this is it. Giannis, I know that you're not really sure what you want to do. We gave you all the pieces you need to thrive. And, I think if they don't somehow win the finals this year, and that's definitely not a lock, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great teams. I think if they don't even get to the finals, I think some of it has to be looked at by Giannis also. The perception of Giannis may start to change if another year goes by and he can't even get to the finals / win the finals. But I think the Bucks put a really good team around him. Jrue Holiday is a great facilitator, a top 3 defender in the league. And he could also spread the floor, shoot the ball very, very well. And I think he's perfect. I think he's the best fit for Giannis. I think the Bucks couldn't have done anything better. The Bucks are a very defensive team. They got one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and someone that could also shoot better than Bledsoe, facilitate better than Bledsoe, and is a better leader than Bledsoe. At the point guard position, you want a leader, and Jrue Holiday does that for you. So the Bucks are looking great. For the Kings, I'll talk about the Kings quickly. DJ Wilson, who cares? But Donte DiVincenzo, I really, really like. I think that was a great trade for the Kings. It seemed like Bogdanovic might have just left. It seemed like the Kings maybe weren't even interested in signing them back. But getting Donte DiVincenzo in return for Bogdanovic is great. Donte's very, very young. He looks like, when he was at Villanova, he looked like he was really a shooter. But now he's turned to someone that could have the ball in his hands. It could facilitate for others and could shoot. I'm a big, big fan of Donte DiVincenzo. I think he could be really great next to De'Aaron Fox. And yeah, I mean, that's really what they got for Bogdanovic. And I think that was good value for, what teams were going to trade for Bogdanovic. His trade value wasn't that high. So getting a young player that could break out very soon was a great deal for the Kings, in my opinion. So I think, and I'll give my grades after. And then for the Bucks-Pelicans deal, Pelicans, obviously Jrue Holiday's 30, only getting older, 1 year left, he might leave. And they got 3 and then 2 pick swaps. I mean, your future's looking great. You already have Zion on Brandon Ingram for the next 4 to 8 years. And now you have these picks coming up, and so you could build a really, really good team if you pick right and you're able to keep your stars happy. So I think for the Blazers, I think that was, if I was going to give grades, I would say it's a B+ deal. Robert Covington's great. He's not going to put you over the edge, but he's a great player. Will keep them in, contention, I would say. And then for the Rockets, I would give it a B. I think 2 first-round picks is great, but what does that mean? If you're going to trade Russell Westbrook and Harden, I completely understand the deal. You're going in full tank. But if you don't, what are you doing? Why don't you just trade your third best player? So right now I'll give it a B, but depending on what happens with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, that grade will change. With the Kings, I'll give it a B+/A-. I really like Donte. Like I said, I didn't think they had to give up Bogdanovic. I think Bogdanovic is better than Donte right now, which is obvious because the Bucks traded a few other players and Donte for Bogdanovic, and also he fits, I would say, better than DiVincenzo did on the Bucks. But I don't know. I think for the Kings, it was a great return. I'll give them a B+, and then for the Bucks, I give it For really, they didn't have to give that much up for Bogdanovic. I think he's a great player in that system, so I'd give that an A minus. And then for the Pelicans, I'd give that an A. I think they pretty much fleeced the Bucks, especially if Giannis leaves. And if Giannis stays, I would give it an A plus. If the Jrue Holiday trade and Bogdanovic trade was the things that made him stay, I'll give it an A plus. You get 4 more years with the MVP player. And if he leaves, I'll give it an F because you just ruined your whole future. So yeah, guys, those are just my quick thoughts on the 3 trades that happened last night. Obviously, I've been posting once a week, but I'm kind of in a feeling right now where I'll post as many videos as I can. I like filming these shorter, quicker videos. It's easier for me. You guys seem to enjoy it more, so I'll be doing this more. And yeah, those were my quick thoughts on the Jrue Holiday, Robert Covington, and Bogdanovic trade. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, my next video is Russell Westbrook to the Knicks. I really hope as a Knicks fan. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in episode number 52. Bye, guys.